Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. This is Straight Facts Commentary where I give you my unpopular opinions in everything pop culture. So please stick around and subscribe for more. Hey y'all, I am back again with another video, and in today's video, you see the title, we are going to be speaking about Nicki Minaj, and the title that you see on the screen, which is, why is Nicki Minaj still winning? And just me giving my perspective and commentary about that. So if you're interested in her female rap, pop, conspiracy theories, trending topics, my unpopular opinions, whatever I feel like getting into for real, go on ahead and subscribe, and let's get into this video. Okay, so the topic of the day, the conversation of the day is, why is Nicki Minaj still winning after all of these years, after everything that's happened, after female rap beef, after female rap beef, after diss track, after Sheether, after Megan's Law, after Bigfoot, after, beyond that, before that, after all of these things that you would think would negatively impact Nicki Minaj in a way of like, oh my gosh, people don't like her because of this, people don't like her because of that, they feel like she's mean, they feel like she's this, they feel like she's rude, they feel like she doesn't like the other girls, they feel like all these different things. And while some different things do come with some actual validity in terms of like, it's always some kind of drama going on. It seems to be never a peaceful moment, never a dull moment. Um and with everything that's happened, you would think that it would have stifled her in some way, or that she wouldn't have the momentum that she has, or still maintain the success that she's maintained. Every controversy that's ever happened, everything that I've ever reported on, everything you've seen someone else report on, everything that's happened in all of these years, right? Why is Nicki Minaj still winning despite everything that, anyone could consider controversial or bad press or negative or whatever you want to call it? Why is Nicki Minaj still winning? Why is she still here? Why is she still, so many reasons, right? We can say whatever we want about Nicki Minaj. She's not perfect, and I've had my criticisms and critiques about her with different things that she's done. If you don't believe me, you can go into my channel and do some proper research and check out, every video that I've ever made on her and any other rap girl, and what my opinion is when it comes to them and different things that they do that I may or may not agree with. And my criticism will always stand. I won't take back anything that I've ever said about anyone, because how I felt about that is how I felt about that. You know what I'm saying? But despite any of those things, why is Nicki Minaj still here, kicking, moving, going, and not only just kicking, moving, and going? She's not just here fighting for her life to stay relevant, or just kicking along and pushing along, and she's barely here, girl. She's on the end of the rope. No, 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 no. The top selling, most known, most recognized, most awarded female rapper in the game up until this point. Why is that the case? Okay, why is that the case? A lot of people, probably wonder, like, how is Nicki Minaj still relevant after all of these years? I think it's definitely her fan base. And how did she acquire such a large fan base of devoted fans? From being in the game for a very, very long time, grinding and working in the background to be able to acquire this. Nicki Minaj is not an artist who's a popcorn artist, or an artist who kind of just came to be because the industry grabbed her and picked her and chose her and pushed her up and boosted her, like a lot of, artists that we have today, to where it's very obvious that the industry inflated them and the industry gave them the looks that they have. They didn't acquire these looks organically, or acquire their fan base organically, or the attention organically. Nicki Minaj is one of the few. There are very few handful of artists in today's climate who have been able to sustain from their own hard work, grind, and dedication. A lot of artists that are in the mainstream now have been handed a lot of their success because the industry wants to push them so that they can make money off of them. Nicki Minaj has been working in the background for years, and she organically acquired her fan base, and that's why they go so hard for her, because they have been here since the beginning. Okay, so the one reason why she's still winning is because she's put in a lot of work in order to get to the point that she's at. Another reason why she's winning is because she puts out good content. So if you've been working for a long time, that doesn't even necessarily mean anything. There's a lot of artists who've been working for years and probably will never reach mainstream success, even though they've been working on their career for years. She's been making content, and over the years, the people have been able to resonate with that content, and she's been able to get boosted from it. Not to say that there are underground artists out here who aren't making good content, but sometimes you just don't meet the right people, or you're not in the right algorithm, and you're not, you might just end up being an undiscovered artist who makes really good content. But Nicki has been able to make amazing content and also grasp the attention and captivate the people, and that's an amazing skill. If you're able to captivate an audience and draw in an audience and demand a presence, that is really good. You can be super talented, but if you don't have the ability to do that, if you don't have the ability to captivate an audience, then you could be talented all day. You have to have the ability to do that. Another reason why I feel like Nicki Minaj is still winning is because she can really rap. She's a lyricist. She's able to switch up her flows, her patterns, and also her genres. She's constantly evolved as an artist throughout her career. She has never stayed the same. She, hasn't been making the same type of music with the same type of sound for the last, 10, 15 years. Every year or so, or every different era, she has switched it up. She's never been a stagnant artist when it comes to her creativity, and that's a huge thing. That's a big thing when it comes to artists in general, the ability to reinvent. Taylor Swift is another big person when it comes to this. She has been different almost every single era since the beginning of her career, starting back in, I don't know, when did she start? 2006, 2005, 2007, something something like that, when Taylor Swift started to get, real buzz around her, and she started to become mainstream with her country music. Taylor Swift was country for a while, but over the years she's evolved so much. She's reinvented, she's changed, she's put out different styles. She went completely pop. Like, huh? I don't think anybody saw that coming. But even within that, she's done so many things. She's done folk music, she had this whole Good Girl Gone Bad Reputation era. She has done so much, and she's a true artist. She's a true visionary, and she's an amazing writer, and she makes songs that are timeless, and we all have Taylor Swift songs in our heart. Even if you don't, I feel like even if you don't really heavily listen to Taylor Swift, we all have Taylor Swift songs in our hearts that are timeless, and you're gonna listen to it and it's gonna be like the first time that you've ever heard it. You know what I'm saying? So if you're able to create music like that, moments like that, if you're able to reinvent yourself constantly, if you're able to be a creative, if you're able to have a vision of what you want when it comes to your image and also your sound, you're golden. You are absolutely golden. I think also when going back to Nicki Minaj, I think another reason why she's still winning is because she has a very distinct image and brand. The whole Barbie aesthetic and the colorful wigs and the animations and the Romans and she has a persona. She has a persona, and she's maintained that for you. Well, she's not really doing the whole Roman thing right now, to be honest with you. But she still has the colorful wigs and the big butt, and the what I'm saying. She's maintained an image for a long time, and she's been able to still have the same image but be able to reinvent within that image. So yeah, she's Barbie and she has the colorful wigs and has the but she's still versatile within that image that she's created. There's just so much. There's so many notes that I feel like female rappers can take from Nicki Minaj. Regardless of whatever you have to say about Nicki Minaj, if you don't, if she can be a bitch, or she can be rude, or she could be this, or she's arrogant, or yeah, maybe she can be a lot of those things. I'm not saying you're incorrect about that, because some of the stuff that Nicki Minaj has said or done, I'm just like, girl, I don't necessarily agree. I don't necessarily agree with how sometimes she could behave. I don't necessarily agree with how sometimes she could go off. She don't know how to shut the hell up, and she don't know how to, not disconnect from the internet sometimes. Or there are certain things that it's like, okay, I don't always agree with every single little thing that Nicki Minaj does, but what I can say is there's a lot that the newer female rappers can learn from Nicki Minaj. She's literally perfected the game in terms of how to be the picture perfect image of what it means to be a female rapper. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's the only person that you would want to emulate as far as a career goes, as far as the long term success of her career, as far as her image, as far as her fan base, as far as her grind, as far as all of the things that I just mentioned. I truly feel like there are a lot of talented female rappers out here, whether they're underground or whether they're mainstream. There are a few mainstream girls that I find extremely talented, and there are a few underground girls that I find extremely talented. But I don't know if any other female rapper in today's generation, just being how the music industry is working now and how a lot of artists aren't able to stay relevant that long and, just don't have the longevity, I don't see anyone else coming out to do what Nicki Minaj has done. And I don't see a lot of, people in the industry, labels and executives investing in artists the same way that they did in the past. There were probably, when Nicki Minaj was going mainstream, a team of people who really believed in Nicki at that time, when it was time for her to pop, when it was time for her to, put out Pink Friday, and it was time for her to do that. People were more invested back then in stars. Like, if we really think about it, outside of Nicki, the stars and the star power and the industry was just different back then. And the labels and the executives and the people behind the scenes were really investing in artists more back then. So, the Lady Gagas and the Katy Perry's and the Nicki Minaj's and Beyonce and every major artist back during the time that Nicki Minaj was, getting big and popular and pop mainstream. The industry was just different. And I feel like they had more care and intention and more effort put into artists back then. So I feel like part of it is the artist, but I feel like the second part of it is the industry just doesn't invest in artists the same way and doesn't um they don't they don't push the same way. So I don't think that there will ever be a female rapper like Nicki Minaj again in this industry. And don't get it twisted, I'm not saying that there's never going to be anybody successful again or that people aren't going to have and make their mark in this industry. No, I'm just saying to the level of Nicki and to the fan base of Nicki and to, everything that Nicki has done, over these years. So, that's just my little rant and ramble. You guys go ahead and add too if it's something that I didn't say, what you feel like, the reason why Nicki Minaj is still winning right now. But yeah, that is it for this one. I love you guys so much. And yeah, I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.